Hey guys, today we'll be looking at derivatives using the quotient rule. So right here is the quotient rule, and what it states is that the derivative of f of x divided by g of x is equal to g of x times the derivative of f of x minus f of x times the derivative of g of x, all divided by g of x squared. So below, I'll write a different way you might see it. So the derivative of f divided by g, where f and g are functions, is equal to f prime times g minus g prime times f, all divided by g squared. So now, in our first example, we'll find our f and our g. So f is going to be our numerator, which is going to be x cubed, and our g is going to equal 1 minus x squared, which is our denominator. Now we can get our derivatives. Our first derivative will be 3x squared for f prime, and our g prime will be negative 2x. Now we can plug these into our formula. So the derivative of f divided by g is equal to, so if we look at our formula, it's f prime times g, so 3x squared times 1 minus x squared, minus g prime f, so in this case g prime is negative 2x, times f, which is x cubed, all divided by g squared, 1 minus x squared, squared. Now we can simplify the top a little bit, and we'll get 3x squared minus 3x to the fourth plus 2x to the fourth, all divided by 1 minus x squared, squared. And now we can combine like terms on the top, and we'll get 3x squared minus x to the fourth, all over 1 minus x squared, squared. And that's that for our first example. Now on to our next example. For this, it's y equals v cubed minus 2v times the square root of v, all over v. And for this, I'd like to simplify the numerator and make it easier when we're doing derivatives. So that 2v times the square root of v, we can combine, and we'll get 2v to the 3 halves. And our v will still be on the bottom. So these are equivalent. I was just combining the v and the square root of v. So our f equation will be v cubed minus 2v to the 3 halves, and our g will equal v. Now if we take the derivative of f, we'll get 3v squared minus 3v to the 1 half, and our g prime will equal 1. Now we can plug into the formula. So d dx of f divided by g is equal to, so f prime g, so 3v squared minus 3v to the 1 half, that's our f prime, times g is v, minus g prime f, so 1 times v cubed minus 2v to the 3 halves, all divided by g squared, which will be v squared. Now we can simplify a little bit on the top. We'll get 3v cubed minus 3v to the 3 halves minus, if we distribute this negative through to both of these terms, we'll get minus v cubed plus 2v to the 3 halves, all divided by v squared. And now, on our next step, we can combine like terms on the top. and we'll get 2v cubed minus v to the 3/2 all over v squared. And now we can take out, to simplify even more, we can take out a v to the 3/2 on both the numerator and the denominator. And that'll give us 2v to the 3/2 minus 1 all over square root of v. And this will get canceled out, and we'll be left with 2v to the 3/2 minus 1 all divided by the square root of v. On to our next example. F of x equals 1 minus x e to the x all divided by x plus e to the x. So for this, our f is going to equal 1 minus x e to the x, and our g is going to equal x plus e to the x. Now if we take the derivative of both terms, for this first term, that 1 will be a constant and get wiped out since the derivative of a constant is 0. And the second term, we're going to have to use the product rule on, and we'll get negative e to the x minus x e to the x. And now our g prime will be 1 plus e to the x. Now if we plug into our formula, f prime g, so we plug in our f prime, and our g, x plus e to the x, minus g prime f, so minus 1 plus e to the x times 1 minus x e to the x. And this is all divided by g squared, x plus e to the x squared. Now we can FOIL both terms on the top, and we'll get negative x e to the x minus e to the 2x minus x squared e to the x minus x e to the 2x. That's the whole first term, minus 1 minus x e to the x plus e to the x minus x e to the 2x, all divided by x plus e to the x squared. So now we can distribute this negative to each term over here, and we can write it out as negative x e to the x minus e to the 2x minus x squared e to the x minus x e to the 2x minus 1 plus e to the x minus e to the x plus x e to the 2x, all divided by x plus e to the x squared. Now we should get some cancellation. So this term and this term will cancel, and this term, not that term, this term and this term will cancel. So what we're left with on the top is negative e to the 2x minus x squared e to the x minus 1 minus e to the x, all divided by x plus e to the x squared. So now you can, that's pretty much the most simplified you can get it. You can pull out a negative on the top and rearrange it a little bit, but that's looking like the best you're going to get. All right.